What is up YouTube, and today I'm going to be showing you guys another Rengokutsu team featuring Lilium. I recently uploaded one that's more free-to-play friendly with beginner team comps using Sonya. This one is going to be more quicker. You can see the average completion time is 152 in this 10 run I did, and the win rate is going to be almost 100%. I say almost because there's always the chance you miss every single debuff over and over at a very small percentage chance. So it's essentially going to be 100% win rate. And you're going to see that the team is going to comprise of Lilium, Klaus, Vice, and Ling Luo. And you'll see that if the run goes perfectly well, you can actually get clears of almost like 1 minute. So this team is very consistent. It's not going to be the easiest to build because anything that doesn't have Sonya in Rengokutsu will just have a higher gear requirement. But for the most part, it should be achievable for you players out there that have been farming gear for a while. And if not, it's something to work towards while using your other teams to farm Rengokutsu. And if you guys can't farm Rengokutsu at all, I recommend checking out my channel. I have a lot of free-to-play teams using both Lilium and Dieting in full SR teams. So basically the team will come down to Klaus, Ling Luo, Lilium, and Vice, if I can find him. Let's actually favorite him very quickly so it's easier to navigate. But these are the 4 characters we are using. Lilium is going to be the easiest to build. You want to make sure that she has S3 and S2 maxed. S1 is a very nice thing to have as well because the boss actually pushes back the turn meter, so you want to make sure you're immune to it. And also you get a ton of damage from just the nodes, and also you're getting attack % bonus. On top of that, you get built-in lifesteal, which is going to be increased, which will make your runs even smoother, but definitely not required because you're not going to really ever die with this team. Now in terms of your stats and modules, Kenai, Fury, and Fury Edge are going to be the best. You can replace Fury Edge with Swift Raid if you want. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And you can also use Momentum instead of Kenai in this team comp. However, Kenai will be more efficient and more reliable because you're not going to be able to guarantee that the boss will have a lot of debuff sticking, mostly because the taunt that comes out from Vice only lasts for 1 turn. So that is going to be the module setup. For your shell, I recommend using either White Fang or Count. Both are very good. Count might be slightly better because the runs are faster, and White Fang is better in longer fights. But White Fang is still fine. You don't have to, bust your balls to get the perfect shell for this boss. Just put her either on White Fang or Count with good matrix setup, and you should be good to go. Now next, we have the character going first. It is Klaus. You don't need her to be this fast, actually. You can have her at like 286 speed just to outspeed the ads. But you do want to outspeed the minions because you don't want to get silenced on the opener because you have to land your debuff. So because of that, you pretty much have her at 286 speed. You run her on basically any setup that just makes her as fast as possible while having 3 effect accuracy right side pieces, and you'll be good to go. Now for your shell, I recommend running Codex because 1, in the case that you miss your S3 on the opener, which can happen, you have another chance right after, which is going to be great. And 2, the fight lasts only about 2 minutes, so Codex is just way more value than something like a time we've set up. So for that reason, Codex is just going to be the best option for her. Now, the other 2 characters, the speed doesn't really matter as much. Let's talk about Vice though. So Vice, obviously going to be maxed out. You're going to want to 6-star him because he's taking a lot of damage. And for your setup, you can see it's very weird, but you're basically just going for full speed and full effect accuracy, similar to Klaus. But you don't actually need him to outspeed the ads. Anything above like 250 speed is probably fine. And for your shell, you can run him on Artisan. If you're finding that he's not fast enough to taunt the boss, you can run him on Jackal Guard as well, and it's going to be very good. If you find that for some reason you're dying still with your Vice, which honestly shouldn't happen too much in this comp, if at all, then you can run him on a Swift Rush Bloodbath setup. But I think, you don't really need it with this team, mostly because Klaus's hacking progress and hack-in makes the boss do 35% less damage, which is basically almost like a bloodbath, so that's why we just have Vice on this speedy setup. Now for Ling Luo, she is going to need her S1 max. That is pretty much it. Honestly, probably not even required for Rengokutsu, but you might as well do it because it's good for a lot of areas of content. And her build is very easy. You just put her on as fast as you can, pretty much. You don't really care about her HP too much. I think if you have just 1 or 2 defensive modules on the right side, you're good to go because she's innately very tanky. I have F-Res, which is a completely wasted stat, so you can replace that with HP bonus and it will be even better. And you just want to make her as fast as you can. There's no real benchmark of how fast you want her to be, but as fast as you can get her without compromising the speed of your Kloss and Vice is going to be the best thing to do, because she's mostly here to, one, apply immunity and just heal everyone, of course, and extend, buff durations and stuff like that, but mostly to spam S1 to apply Whale Prayer, because this will purify the attack down that the boss applies, and it'll make your Lilium do way more damage and speed up the run. So just make her as fast as possible. HP bonus and defense bonus are a plus, but it doesn't really matter too much because her healing doesn't actually scale with her own HP, it scales with the target. Now in terms of shell, Supernova is what I'm running her on. It's not even close to being the best. Honestly, the two best options, which I forgot to actually switch her onto, is going to be Jackal Guard, because you get more speed, you're actually doing more damage to the boss, which is great, and you're getting turn meter push, and also Fortissimo. Fortissimo is very good on Ling Luo in Rengokutsu, because you're overhealing so much, and because there's only 4 targets you're healing, basically this will just top people off to full health. So, Fortissimo and Jackal Guard are the best. If you only have a Supernova, which is what I'm going to be running her on just to make it, less complex, it's going to be okay as well, but Fortissimo and Jackal Guard are going to be significantly better for this boss fight. So I'll show you guys the run now. It's pretty self-explanatory, like I mentioned. Kloss will go before the minions to apply the debuffs so she doesn't get silenced off the opener. Then you can see with the speed down, my Vice is able to lap. Definitely not required though, you don't need him to actually go before the boss, or the minions even, because if you get silenced, it's not the end of the world. And basically, Ling Luo will heal us up and put immunity, and we are just going to reapply the debuffs and just start doing a ton of damage with Vice just spam taunting the boss. And even if he misses taunt, it is fine because we are going to have so much healing from Ling Luo from stacking those whale prayers, and she'll also be consistently dispelling our team. So people think Sonya is like the best dispeller, but in this boss specifically, for the amount of debuffs that are applied, because Sonya can only dispel 2 targets at a time, Ling Luo is actually going to be way better at dispelling because she has her S3, she has her S2, and these stacks of Whale Prayer can actually cleanse off the debuffs. You're going to see my Lilium has attack down, but it's fine because she applies attack up to herself. And basically, we are just going to be healing through all this damage with our S2 here from Ling Luo. And you can see Supernova does have some value, but like I said, it's not nearly as good as other shells, so don't run her on Supernova. I just didn't switch and decided, screw it, let's just run it. And basically you can see, we're cycling very quickly with speed down on the boss, and also because we're taunting, the run is going to be pretty safe. The attack buff gets dispelled off from Whale Prayer, which is very nice. And you're going to see the boss is just going to be constantly hitting into our Vice here, and then Lilium will be able to finish off the boss right here, and you can see that this run is going to be very safe, but also very fast. So it's one of my favorite teams to use here, because if you have access to Kloss, then Lilium paired with Kloss with these 2 free-to-play characters can make this run super quick while also having a very, very high win rate. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video though, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.